Hey fellow ServiceNow devotees, get ready to embark on a journey through the fascinating realm of ServiceNow with none other than the service ducks themselves. I'm James Downs.
And I'm Russ here. Whether you're new to ServiceNow, pre-Aspen veteran, or just a curious soul, we're here to bring you ServiceNow curiosities, exhilarating interviews, and don't forget the infamous A to Z game.
But mostly, it's about the random ramblings of two middle-aged guys with a funny story to tell, right?
Yeah, true. The ducks are ready, the mics are on, and we can't wait to have you join us. Let's dive in. Hello, welcome to another episode of the Service Ducks podcast. I, as always, is your host, Russ here, and I'm joined with trusty co-host, Trusty co-host James
Yeah,
Downs.
trusty sounds good.
And in this episode, in true fashion, James doesn't know what we're going to talk about. In fact, before he hit record, he was asking me, what are we going to talk about? What are we doing? Just hit record and we'll figure it out as we go along.
Yes.
In this episode, actually, we're going to talk about the Gen AI stuff, I think. So,
yes.
I think on the 29th of September, it depends when you're listening to this, whether it was a while ago or ages ago. You can't be before it because we've gone past it.
No, but we're already past it.
Anyway, the 29th of September was supposed to be the date where it was available on the store for us devs to get our grubby mitts all over it and have a play, right? But I think there's been some challenges in terms of getting that, certainly in Europe. I will specify in Europe, getting that to have a play with. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to poke around on the screen and see if we can get it, right? We're going to see what turns up, what documentation we can find, what information we can find. So this could actually turn out to be catastrophic and it never sees the light of day, or it could just be entertaining. But first, let's see what we've both been up to, right? Because there is some, I know there'll be something you're burning to tell me, right? There is.
There might be something very burning. Yeah.
Very burning. So James and I love our running, right? You'll have heard that before. Now, I had a race yesterday in Guildford, my 10K race. The plan was for my race to run I wasn't going to run a certain time. I said to you, didn't I?
No,
I said, I'm just going to go and run it easy and see how it goes.
Exactly.
However, you also had a race, not the same race, a different race.
Yep,
different
I
place.
did indeed.
And your goal was to do a sub 60, right? Your goal for that race that you've been training towards was a sub 60. How did you get on? How did you feel? Let's have a blow by blow. Come on. Let's see. Talk to us.
Well, it's one of those milestones, isn't it, really? I think as a runner, when you start out running, the first thing to do is obviously get to the next lamppost. So you kind of work your way up from that. What was it? Couch to 5K is quite a common thing, I think.
Yeah. We've all
then
been
achieving
there.
your first 5K is one of the next, steps in the ladder. And then getting to the point where you're comfortable and doing an under half an hour 5K. I think that's a very good point to get to in your kind of running progression. The next thing for me, and bear in mind we've been running for years, probably about at least 10 years, I'd probably say that I've been running. And trying different things and trying.
You must have gone quite far in 10 years.
Programs. Yeah, I've come back to the same space.
You're
I've
still
come
there, you haven't
full
moved.
circle in my running. Yeah. No, but it's I've been running. Obviously, so those who've seen my videos, I run for fun as well. I've done a few half marathons, not especially quickly at all. I quite enjoy going out with a camera at times and just videoing where I'm going in random routes. But there was one particular milestone which evaded me, which is getting under an hour, as you said, for a 10K, which I found incredibly hard because I think my previous best, and I only achieved it once, was 1 hour and 5 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah.
Or 1 hour, 4 minute 30 or something like that. And even at that time, it felt like that was a push. Majority of the times, and actually the one that we did back in Milton Keynes,
we did one.
Was 108 or 109. I think I achieved.
Oh, right, okay.
And that was an easier course than the one I had yesterday.
Really?
So I thought, yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah.
That one was horrible back in March, May, whenever it was. It was horrible.
Oh no! This one had over 100 meters of elevation.
Wow.
There was no flat parts to it at all, so it was either you're going up or you're going down. So the strain on your knees and your calves and whatever else was there. It was absolutely a battle for me to pick this one to try and do my under hour 10K was pretty stupid, to be quite honest.
Did you know it was going to be let's call it undulating?
Not until 2 days prior. I didn't check out the course. I thought I could just rock up. I generally knew it was in the town I live in, so I thought it could have been around the town centre. I knew that was flat. But it took us on a completely random course, which I didn't expect. So I guess do your homework was definitely a lesson learnt from that one.
They're nasty. These course setters.
Yeah, I know. But in terms of the result, I'll tell you what happened. Actually, I got to about 6K in. I was absolutely on par for achieving this under hour. I got to about 6.5, and I think the uphills leading to that point has really got to me. So I actually stopped. I stopped, and I thought, I'm done. I'm absolutely done here. I started hitting things around me, not people, trees and things.
You were hitting trees.
I was hitting trees. There was things around me, and I started to get angry because so much training kind of led to this point. And it's not just the training; it's like eating at the right times, drinking at the right times, going to the toilet at the right times. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
But
it's like getting yourself in that right window. And it all led to that point. It was like 6.5, and I gave up. But then I had someone else's voice in my head.
Yeah.
And there's this well-known phrase that's been shouted at me in the past. Don't be expletive.
Yeah. Don't be, let's duck it out. Don't be
Okay. You're going to go ahead and say it. Yeah. We can say it. It's fine. Don't be And I kept on saying that to myself at that point in time. It's like, right, do you know what? Let's just try. Let's just get going again and see what happens. You never know. I might get my second wind. I knew it was somewhat downhill from there, literally. And I started to pick up the pace again. It was really strange. I thought I was done. My legs were gone. But then after like a 30-second to 40-second break, I managed to pick it up again. And my split time wasn't too bad in the end. And I managed to kind of claw it back in the last 2 or 3 kilometers. And eventually end up with a 59.02.
A 59. So you were going for a sub 60. Right. Why do people, could you hear that? Why do people have stupidly loud cars? It's a 30-mile-an-hour limit. You've got nothing to prove. Oh, don't. Anyway.
Okay.
But, so you were going for a sub 60, right? You actually hit pretty much a 59. The 2 seconds does make a difference when you're running. It does, but let's just ignore that, right? So that's a minute under. Had you had not argued with yourself, you'd have probably gone another 30 seconds quicker, right?
Yep, and actually I stopped twice. The second time I only stopped for like 10 seconds, and someone else coming past me said, come on, guy, keep going. And I was like, all right.
Do you know what? What's really interesting?
But
right? So I too, one, that's amazing you've achieved your goal, right? But as a runner, it's never achieved because now you're going to say, I could have gone under 50, 58, 30, and that's the next goal, right?
I really want to come to that kind of natural conclusion now and just stick to running that I enjoy.
But you won't. Because you could have gone 30 seconds faster.
In fairness, I said exactly the same thing after my first half marathon, and I was like, I'm never doing one of these again. And then about 6 months later, I did another one.
And you'd think, but if I did a flat course, I might be able to go a minute quicker.
I know.
It was a sub 58. Ooh.
And there's no sub 50 in me. Definitely not.
Not. So I went, so mine yesterday, my goal for this year is to do a sub 50, right? So I've already done a sub 50 in a training run, but to me, that didn't count. I wanted to do a sub 50, still a 10K in a race environment.
Yeah.
So I've booked one for November because I know it's flat. I'm kind of cheating. I know it's flat.
Yep.
And that's what I'm aiming towards, my sub 50. Race I did yesterday was undulating. So it was pretty much uphill for the first 5K and then a switch back. So it was out and back. So it wasn't like a course, it was out and back. So you knew it was uphill for the first 5 and kind of down-ish hill
Yeah.
Well, mind you, right, if it's uphill for the first 5 and it's back, it's got to be downhill for the last 5, right? But I
Yeah.
want to make it sound more dramatic, so it was downish.
Yeah.
Right.
Danish. Okay.
So I did it and I went and I thought, I'm just going to go and have fun. I'm not
Yeah.
intending to run it quick. It's not a PB course. It's uphill. It's 8 o'clock in the morning as well. I don't run in the morning, so it's not a good time for me. And I thought I'm not going to wear my race shoes, so I didn't take my race shoes. Didn't take my.
Oh, so you didn't wear your carbon plated shoes at all?
No, I took my half carbon, so that I took my kind of
carbon.
tempo shoes rather than my Vaporflies, right?
Right.
This is a ServiceNow podcast, by the way, people. So hang in there. It's just James and I like to catch up.
Sponsored by ASICS.
Yeah, sponsored by no. But no, anyway, so on the first 5K, so there was a pacer, right? And she was a 50-minute pacer. And I said to her jokingly, I was like, I'm relying on you today, right? And I had my plan because the pacers always go out in an even place, but I always run negative split, so I go quicker in the latter half, right? Sounds nerdy.
Yeah.
So I went out slower than the pacer. Coming up to 5K, it was because it was uphill and undulating. I was struggling after 3. I was like, it's not on. I could see the flag of the pacer because they wear those little flags that go like this.
Oh,
You could just see it bobbling around. I could see it going off into the distance. For first 15 minutes, I thought, it's all right, I'll catch her later. And then I just thought, it's kind of not happening. And on the way back, you went out and then she switched back and came up there and she goes, don't let me drop you. I was like, well, you already have. I'm all right with that. And you turned round and I saw there was a water station with bottles. And I'd realised, although I have coffee in the morning, I hadn't drunk anything in the morning. I was like, oh no, I'd even prepped the bottles, but I'd never taken them. So anyway, I'd made peace with it. I wasn't going to run the sub 50. I didn't want to run the sub 50. So I grabbed a water bottle. Instead of running, I just walked. I grabbed it and drank it while walking. I thought, I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
Then I picked it up a little bit. It was a struggle. Towards about 7K, there was another little hill. And I saw it in the distance. It was like that. And I went, I'm going to walk up that as well. So I just walked up that for about 10 seconds. And then I'd say probably the last 3K, it was kind of more downhill. There was this one guy, right? Quite a large guy. And this is nothing against him at all. But he was keeping up. And I could hear him making what I can only describe as noises you might make in the bedroom, right? He was struggling.
I didn't know you were going there. Okay.
I'm going there. And he kept calling him. I'm sure his name was Nigel, right? So if you're listening, sorry, but he kept running up behind me, going, "Come on, Nigel, you can do it, you can do it." And I thought, Jesus Christ, this guy's almost dying, and he's literally giving it everything he's got, right?
Yeah.
So I clung on to this couple, this youngish couple, and not literally. I just kind of stuck behind them, and it was downhill. And we come round. I didn't know what time I was on for, but I thought I was hurting, but it was feeling all right because it was downhill at this point.
Yeah.
The last 400 meters, I felt sorry for this couple because her boyfriend was obviously a good runner and he was trying to get his girlfriend around in a certain amount of time. Right?
Yeah.
And they were in front of me, and I did feel sorry for them because I literally just dropped them in the last 400 meters and just went shooting past. When I say shooting past, I'm not Kipchoge or Mo Farah. You know what I mean?
That's it.
I just ran, which to be fair, probably looked like some lunatic going to
a gazelle,
like Kermit the Frog. But I just dropped them, right, and I went over the line, and I saw the timer at 50 minutes and 5 seconds. So at the time, I was a bit like, oh, I've missed it by 5 seconds.
Yeah, if only you just picked up a little bit at one of these previous bits. Yeah.
Yes, but then it dawns on you that that's gun time, right? So gun time is different to chip time.
Yeah.
So I started quite far back. So actually, my time ended up being 49:41.
Yeah.
So I did do sub 50 without my race shoes, undulating, and killing myself at the end. So I was well happy with that. Well happy.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I bet.
Absolutely smashed the roast dinner yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Didn't even use my hands. I was just in there like this.
Come on, Russ, come on.
So
that's impressive.
This is really good for both of us, though, because we both set goals months ago. And this is the point, I think. We both set goals months ago.
Yep.
and it's been through a lot of pain and hard work, but
Yeah.
we've actually got to what we achieved. So I am proud of
Yeah.
us both for that. I, of course, have reset my next goal for November to be sub 48 is what I'm going
So what's
for.
your ultimate 10K PB, even if it's training or not training? How far off was that compared to your...
My 10K PB I've got at the minute in a training one was 48:45.
Yeah, which is not far off that, is it?
Yeah.
It's like a minute off, if that. Yeah.
Well, you think about it. So that's kind of on a flat route. So if I'm with my race shoes on, full carbons.
Yeah, exactly. Not stopping for the water.
With a few kilograms lost in weight.
Yeah.
I reckon I should be able to go under 48.
That's on, isn't it? That is on.
I think so. But it'll hurt. It's really going to hurt.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is like 10Ks are, well, it can either be an enjoyable distance in terms of take your time, enjoy the 10K. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be over soon. It's fine.
Yeah.
Or you can go all balls out and make it hurt for a long time.
They hurt so much. They hurt so much. I did 3 kilometers the day before at the pace I need to hit that 10K at.
Yeah.
3, and it hurt like hell. I just wanted to stop.
Yeah.
So, and I don't, but I guess the point is, and we've said this before, it is so mental. It's like that with a lot of things, right? It's so in your head. It's like that with work and the stuff that we do sometimes, right? It's so mental and in your head. You're capable of far more than you think you are, I think.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
So that is it. So I'm massively proud of us, and on to the next thing. There is one other thing I want to talk to you about that I have told you. I'm going to tell the listeners because it's mildly entertaining.
It is. It is.
I don't know, actually. Right. And I hope there's a message in here somewhere. So the other week, I decided to book some time off work. Sometimes it can get there's no shying away from this. We have summer holidays in the UK where the kids are at school, and if you work from home like I do, you potentially got kids around you all the time asking me, and it's we didn't go on holiday this summer because we'd already been on holiday previously in the year, so it felt like a really long summer. There was that. Yep. Work has been particularly busy at the minute, as it 9 times out of 10 always is. And there've been other stuff going on that I'm not going to divulge too much into in this podcast. But let's just say there was a lot going on. So I thought I'm going to have a couple of days off, right? And I'm just going to. What's the phrase? I'm just going
to go to the pub with the lads.
No. This 1990s laddie humour won't work here anymore, mate. Right, so
go to Amsterdam for a long weekend.
No, it doesn't work.
Prague. Is it Prague? No. Hey, go on.
The phrase is taking some time out for yourself.
Yes.
Right. So no, I decided to book 2 days off, and I thought I'm going to do stuff for me. Right. Normally, I would do something really blokey and go out for a pint, or I don't know, burp to the tune of "She'll Be Coming Round the Mountain," whatever. I don't know. No, usually I'd go out for the run. I'd go out to the gym. People are probably screaming, going, "God, you're so boring." I'd do stuff for me, right? However, I thought I'm going to do something completely different. I'm going to push my comfort zone. I'm going to get out of it and do something completely different. So I booked myself on a half-day spa.
Ooh.
I don't think you're allowed to do that anymore.
Am I not?
I did. Do you know? Right. Okay. Let me dispel the myth. Before booking this, I thought. Oh, by the way, I went on my own. Let me just put that out there as well. I didn't.
Yes, that's quite an important part. Yep.
Didn't go with my wife or any friends or anything. I decided I'm going on my own. But I decided to do this because I thought it's something I would never do. I'd never even dream of it before, and I certainly wouldn't go on my own. And I will be honest, I felt completely self-conscious. I went there thinking this is going to be weird. I'm going to be the odd one out. Everyone's going to look at me. this just feels odd, but I'm going to do it anyway, right? So I went, and it was 3 hours of, and no, there was no pampering. Didn't get my nails done. No one waxed my eyebrows or anything like that. The best way I can describe it is it's like sitting by the pool on holiday, but in the UK, in the miserable rain in the UK.
Yeah.
Sounds appealing. So, but it was 3 hours where they had all these different pools, and you could just mooch around, lie about, have the different experience, and just kind of zone out and switch off. And I will say, the staff at this particular resort were absolutely fantastic. I said I'd never been to one of these before. They kind of took pity on me. You could kind of tell they took pity on me. And it was full of all sorts of different people, right? It's not the kind of preconceived ideas I perhaps would have, right? And it was full of all these different peoples, and I didn't actually feel that conscious of myself. Although I'm like a giant child, right? All these different pools and people relaxing and mooching about, whatever. All I wanted to do is try all the experiences because I didn't want to miss out. So I was like dipping my toe in for 15 minutes to go, right, I'm going to the next one. I want to go to the next one. I did that. And I have to say, it's absolutely an experience. Would I go again? 100% I'm going again. 100%.
So this really surprises me because I guess I have the same kind of preconceptions about spas, and I wouldn't necessarily go unless maybe, I don't know, your mum bought you a voucher and she makes you go.
But why wouldn't you go there?
I don't know. I guess I don't do, well, first of all, I don't do any kind of forms of swimming. I've never been for like a massage. I've never done any kind of like self-care or, do you know what I mean? Any kind of things like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see it for me as relaxing, I guess, to take my mind off. I'd probably be more conscious, maybe, of myself. I don't know.
So exact same reasons for me, right? So I have a sports massage on my legs because that is self-care. That's physical self-care because you and I do a lot of running, right?
Yeah.
So it's physical self-care. It's just like stretching at the gym for me.
Yeah, I get it.
But this for me is mental self-care, right? So, and I'm sure there's other ways, and I will find other ways of doing it. Like going for a long run is my form of mental self-care as well.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do something that I would never even think. And just explore something new. And it was bloody brilliant. So I will do it again. Don't care. This time I might go in burping and farting and make it a bit more laddie. You know what I mean?
Go for a pint afterwards and not after with cakes and scones.
Let me tell you. It wasn't all lost because I did have a beer while I was sat by the pool.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
That's okay. And we're back to reality.
There we go. Back to reality. All I would say to people is give it a try. Push yourself out of your comfort zone, whatever that might be.
I think fair play for pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and doing something different, and also for finding that you reached that point of you had to spend time on yourself. I think a lot of people wouldn't get to that point, or they would break, or for example, I would go and have a pizza, or go down that route of bad food, alcohol, to try and just forget it and try and move on. Or next week's a new week.
But also, right, there is something, and there's podcasts in this on its very own. In fact, there's probably actual series about this. But something hits when you get to the age of 40. Right, so I'm 41 now, right? When you get to the age of 40, you don't really care what anyone thinks.
Yeah.
So before you might have gone, going to a spa, I don't want people to think, I don't know, anyone to think something.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, I don't really care. I'm going to go and give it a shot.
Get your man boobs out, it's all right.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. So next week I'm having a full pedicure and I'm having my eyebrows done. Thank you very much. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Right. Anywho.
Very good.
Shall we bring back onto ServiceNow? We're now 23 minutes in and we haven't spoken
23 minutes and we're not even mentioned it.
No. Let's talk about Gen AI stuff, right?
So I was very excited. Like, everyone got that date of 29th of September, and we were like, okay, it's then going to be released. I think it took a while for us to find out that it was going to be released on the 29th of September as well.
But what though? What when you say that it's going to be released, what are we talking about? What's going to be
Yeah,
released?
so in terms of the Gen AI controller, so the ability for you as general public you and not a select few you to
You.
have access to looking at Gen AI for yourselves. So whether it be on an internal instance or something, a generally available instance for you to go and install it and see for yourself what it looks like and have a play. We've all seen the Vancouver videos and all the kind of content from the dev advocates from the YouTube channel and from all the good enablement stuff that they've been doing.
So
but
is this
now we're excited, we've seen it, let's do it for ourselves and see what we can achieve with it, see what solutions we can come up with and offerings and all that good stuff.
Are we talking about, let's talk techie stuff. Are we talking, it's an application that you can download that's called a Gen AI, it's called a Gen AI Controller, but it has the capabilities that are, what were the capabilities? The case summarization stuff.
Yeah.
There was, what else was there? Come on. There was the flow.
Yeah, the flow recommendations.
What was the other one?
There was a few others. There was like a Q&A subflow.
There was a few code,
subflows. No. So
you
that
sure?
one, I think although they may have shown it, they did say that one wasn't going to be immediately available.
Okay.
So that kind of like now assist side of things.
Oh, that's it.
We're not. Yeah, that side of things, I don't think we are going to see yet.
So I'll tell you what would be interesting. So I've signed up to the Advanced Developer CreatorCon thing, which is on the 31st of October.
Yeah.
Just to shout out on that, actually, on the evening of the 31st October is a ServiceNow Developer Meetup in London, and I am now co-hosting. Why didn't I mention that at the start of this podcast?
That could I think you may have done.
No, I don't think I have.
No?
Why didn't I mention that? Listen, right.
That's quite big news.
Running a sub 50 10K and going to the spa clearly were more important in my head than mentioning that.
Much
Sorry,
more
Pete.
important.
Perhaps I should have said that right at the start.
Yeah, maybe.
Either way, yes, there is a developer meetup on the evening of the 31st. So if you're not yet subscribed to the Meetup app, go and do that. It'll be quite exciting. We've got the likes of Chuck and Pranav coming along as well to talk about Vancouver stuff. However, on the CreatorCom side, it's mainly focused around Gen AI, so it'd be quite exciting for me to get my hands kind of dirty with it there. But what we're saying, I think we're saying, is it was supposed to be available on the 29th of September. However, as we speak right now, we don't think it is, right? Or do we?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've seen rumours that or mentioned that it's not available on the likes of PDIs. It may be still only available to a certain limited amount of people. You have to go through like some kind of approval system to get it. And I think we're just going to have to try and find out for ourselves. We're going to have to go and have a look.
Let's do it.
And see if it's there. See if it's there to just click on and say get, or it's in the store.
Let's do it.
Yes. Do we have an instance?
You
to go and have a look.
Probably not. But you can drive, and I can talk the audience through what we're actually doing, right? So the theory being, we're going to go to the ServiceNow store and see if this thing is available.
Yes.
I wonder, can you fool it with a VPN to say, look, I'm in North America? Ooh. Ooh. Probably not.
Sneaky.
Because you have to log in, don't you?
Yeah, just go through the login because that's a bit boring for everybody to see.
Admittedly, I hadn't had a look. Shall I do some stuff while you're do whatever you're doing?
Yep.
Why didn't I mention the Meetup thing right at the start?
No, I know.
Do you reckon we can edit it so it sounds like I did?
Yeah, we'll move that to the news section.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, if I'd have said that at the start, people might have carried on listening, but I think they've probably dropped off now because we just waffled on about running for 15 minutes. Oh, I don't think it matters.
No.
It's something that we're excited about and we wanted to share. If you've dropped off, I do apologise. But equally, don't really
They're not
care.
here for the ServiceNow content.
Yeah. If you're here for the ServiceNow content, there are other podcasts. Right.
Okay.
Oh, I'll tell you the other news.
Yeah, go on.
I've got a selfie stick turning up today.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. I've
Oh, and you
ordered
can
one.
take that with you. What? So you're going with phone? Is that right? To what, Creaticon with it, or are you
Yes,
gonna?
I'm too tight to buy anything like a GoPro. So I've got a selfie
Yeah.
stick for my phone that can go like this, and I can have mics up like that. So I'm hoping I can get some. I'm going to call them interviews with people at Creaticon and World Forum, but they're not really going to be. I'm just going to have like a set of 3 or 4 questions that I'm going to hopefully grab people in between sessions and just ask them one. So, what's been your highlight today of so far? And they'll go,
Yeah.
the lunch.
You can make a compilation of people who have just said lunch.
Yeah, and I think I'm either going to mash them together or I'm going to release them as shorts throughout the day.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know though. I don't know.
Are they
If
now
anyone's got anything,
copyright of property of ServiceNow? Now you're involved with the Creaticon.
I don't know. Let's edit that bit out because then that means I know about it. But let's just pretend blissful ignorance. Right. Generative AI.
So one thing that was interesting just now is me going through trying to log into the store. So I've tried to use my own personal account because what I didn't want to do is try and do this with an account which is linked to my kind of partner account and the partner that I work for. So I wanted to see if it was truly generally available. But because I did not have a high account with that same account, then it didn't let me log in. So you can't exactly go to the store on the website and add it to your PDI, for example.
Whatever you just said sounds far too complicated for me.
Okay.
I'm sure it made sense. Right. I'm going to have a dig about to see. You know, it'll be quite amusing, right? If someone listens to this and then comes back within minutes and says, yeah, it's here.
Boom. It's right there.
Getting started with the Generative AI Controller. Let's have a look at that.
Good place to start.
Well, I'm guessing in theory it's a store app, right? It's not a plugin, is it?
Yeah, it's a store app. It is a store app. There is something else which is interesting to look at as well, which I had heard about, which is a separate area to, you know, how you go into like plugins or, my applications or applications on your instance.
Mm-hmm.
There's a separate area for just AI stuff.
Is there?
There is. I've heard. I'm also waiting for my instance to wake up so we can see it on there as well.
Oh, this is quite a good article. So this is an article on the developer blog by Earl about getting started with it and give you information on how to get the API keys, whatever. It doesn't actually tell you where to get it from.
That's good.
Oh, it's called Generative AI Controller application. Okay, right. I think people can already see the ending of this podcast.
Quite possible.
Are we successful or are we not? Here's the thing. Right.
Has things changed? Who knows?
Are you sharing your screen now? Look at that.
Yeah, I'm about to share my screen. I'm going to search for the generative.
Oh, that's what I was going to look for. Oh, you beat me to it. I'll move you over there because I keep looking away from the screen.
I think this is something that's quite frustrating. And I have checked this once a little while back, so things could have changed. And I'm just searching for a generative AI controller, and it doesn't come up.
Oh.
Which is useful. But I guess more helpfully, there is a generative AI link at the top there, which I shall go to. Supercharge your workflows.
Look at this.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So this is now interesting. So this is, I think what we're seeing here is how they're going to bundle this up a lot more now, because you got Now Assist for different kind of product suites. You got ITSM, HR, Creator, CSM.
Yeah.
And from what I have seen, the likes of the creator will contain things like the text to code, whereas the likes of ITSM will contain other things related to maybe case summarization in incident.
Yeah, there might be flow scopes or something.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
PA content packs, you know what I mean? They're all
Yeah.
bundled. Okay. What's the difference between
Exactly.
the admin and the creator then?
So I do not know. Let's have a look. So this is to monitor, activate, manage, and monitor the Now Assist applications. And interestingly, it does say get, so it's get more.
Do it. I'm excited.
I'm not sure I should, because this is going to show some partner-related instances.
All right, we'll shut the screen down then. Stop sharing.
We'll edit that bit out.
Yeah.
I guess we can blur that bit out, can't we? Okay, well, I'm going to go to get and see what comes up. Okay. May share your details? Sure. You can share. I'm going to pretend I have read that information here.
So hang on. So if you're doing this from your partner linked account,
yeah,
does that mean if I am? It does, doesn't it? If me being a freelance will not be able to get access to this for my PDI.
I think it probably would.
My PDI? Really?
Oh, not your PDI, unless yeah. I don't think PDIs are not going to show up in this blurred list, which you would not see.
Yeah, well, that's not fair, is it? Really? I want to be able to play too.
Yeah. So unless you have access to like a sub production instance, either through your customer, or do contractors get access to any other?
No, but do you know what I think?
Instances? Could you pay for like? Do you know what I mean? A small instance,
but do you know what I think should happen? I think ServiceNow just pinged me a message on their website. Oh, should we talk to one of these data privacy bot things? Let's go and do that. Should we talk to a bot? I need support. No. Do you know what I think should happen? I think ServiceNow, given the fact that I've got a YouTube channel and podcast, I think they should issue me a free instance to play with.
I think so. And I think it should be almost like one of those demo hub instances where you can just load up whatever you like without a care of licensing restrictions or whatever.
It's never going to happen.
Well, you're sharing content. It's free marketing. Well, come on.
You know that, and I know that. Right, okay. What are we doing?
So this is actually an instance where that plugin seems to be already loaded. So I do think if you've got a non-PDI instance or a subprod instance that you can load this onto, it will be available. But I'm not sure if you'll have access to all of those plugins. We'll come back to that page. Because I think what this essentially gives you is, I think, is it called Now? Just going to search for Now Assist. There we go.
Oh, I can't look. So I've just tried logging into the ServiceNow store with my personal account. Sorry, you can't log in with this ServiceNow ID. It just whinges at you. Log in, want the legacy, update the email address on your existing ServiceNow ID, contact. Oh, I don't know.
It's frustrating, isn't it?
Yes. Very. Log in using with a different ID. Listen, I can do that, but that's not going to solve my issue. Log in using your legacy Now Support credentials. No. Update the email address on your existing ServiceNow ID account. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means. Should we just click the button? How are you getting on?
Yes. So, so I'm in this kind of instance where it's not a PDI, and it is one of the ones owned by, I guess, my partner, without putting a pound in the jar.
Yeah.
And this is where one of those plugins was available, and I was able to install it, which was the Generative AI Controller.
Really?
And
Did you get
it? Yes, I managed to get that on here. But to make it active, I guess. So I think I've been able to get, but not install, if you get what I mean. It's made me see that I am entitled. So when you're on the ServiceNow store, when you click on get, what will happen is it doesn't instantly download it to your instance. All it's doing at that point is saying, right, I'm going to check that you're entitled, and you have to select what instances you're going to say you're going to install this on.
Yes.
So after you do that, it then becomes available for you to install through your instance.
Of course
so
it does. Yes.
Install.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
And I think the problem with this, before I go to this Now Assist homepage, if I did go back to the plugins list, I should be able to see it. I don't know
where
why
did this Now Assist homepage come from? Where did this Now Assist?
This is brand new. So I think this has come from either a Vancouver patch 2 update, I think it is. So this has come automatically without us installing anything.
Okay.
So
you logged in and ping, it was there. I'm off camera. Shall I move? Is that better?
Yeah, move back.
I feel like I'm quite far over.
Yeah. So in your application manager,
what do we think of this new application manager thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's okay.
I like it. I don't like the fact that I've got to do more clicks, though, but I do like it.
Yeah. So this generative AI is now there. So
right.
Generative AI Controller. Whereas before, if you try to just search from here, it won't show. So it's one of those ones where you're going to have to open the store and get the entitlement for.
That makes sense.
So once that first step is done, you're now here and available to install it.
Install.
Which is actually interesting because, yes, and this is the big problem.
Oh.
Because, and this is what I've heard, is it says this app can only be installed as a dependency.
Right.
And the app that it's dependent on is the Now Assist plugins. So that one's from that first screen, from when we were in the store. If we go back to the generative AI part here, you know how you got like this ITSM, CSM, creator. So let's say we're really interested in doing the text to code stuff.
Yes, we want to play with that. Let's do it.
Yep. And unfortunately, although I've requested it, it's going through an approval process. So I'm not entitled to it. It's not there and available for us to get the entitlement to go and install it.
So which one? So go back onto your instance. Which is the one that we did download? Which is that one that's saying it's dependent on something? Which one's that?
The Generative AI Controller. So it doesn't show up as an app on the store. In fact, it shows as a dependency in here. If I go to the dependencies for Now Assist for Creator, we've got the Generative AI Controller. So you had to kind of dig down to kind of get that.
So just go back and I might have missed it when I was messing around on another screen, right? So we've gone to the store. You said, "Oh, I'll have a bit of that," and you've got it and put it on your instance, right? And in doing that,
no. So basically, what I did was, because if you remember back to the previous videos and things, what we were told was it was all about the Generative AI Controller as your first kind of port of call of trying to test this out.
Yes.
And it used to be something they tell you that go into the store, search for it, you'll find it, go and install it, happy days. Things are obviously changing the last few weeks because now you can't just search for it and find it. As we've seen back then, I searched for Generative AI Controller, nothing came up.
Yep.
Now when you go to Generative AI, it comes up with these kind of packages, I guess, for Creator, for ITSM, for CSM.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And the only way I managed to get to the Generative AI Controller is by going to it through its dependencies and then installing it.
Right. I missed that bit. I was mucking around on looking at spa days. Right, I'm with you.
Yeah. So now I've been able to do the kind of entitlements around it. I was able to get it to the point where it's going to show up in the instance as something to download when you install, but I can't install it because it's a dependency for a separate app which we need to install.
And that separate app is?
one of those previous ones. So
that
it
we
was
can't get because we need to request.
which we can't get because
Right.
it's limited.
So
to certain
what
people.
we're saying is there's some kind of bizarre catch-22 circle that we're stuck in.
Yeah. Yes. They need to change their message around trying to get this generative AI controller.
It's like
and say, to do this, you need to get one of these Now Assist
yeah.
plugins, basically.
Okay.
But it's not generally available.
Well, this is good news though, right? Because in a cruel twist of irony, I suggested this topic of conversation because I thought we'd fail, right? But I think we've got further than I thought we were going to get. It seems to have progressed kind of a little bit, but it's in some kind of weird while loop that we keep going round, right? We can't break out of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think this is interesting. This Now Assist admin, though, this is this kind of breakout that I mentioned previously about you don't necessarily need to go searching through plugins to installing different packages. I guess for Now Assist.
Yeah.
So once you are entitled to these things, you can browse the plugins, and this is going to show up with that same list of for ITSM, for ITOM.
Go on, click on one. Click on one from here. Do it.
So it's all this is going to do, by the way, is if I just show all, because for some reason it defaults on technology. So you got the creator one and ITOM, ITSM. If I was to go to ITSM, what that's going to do is it says you'll now be redirected to the ServiceNow store.
Oh,
we go install plugin.
Oh,
and we're back to square one.
Right. Yeah. Which was a bit of a shame because we were going to. Oh, you got the plugin name at the top there. It was a shame because we were going to do. I know you were definitely going to do some videos on this on YouTube, wasn't it? Try and give it a bit of a
100%, yeah,
a bit of a look, and so too was I. But I think it'll be interesting off the back of the CreatorCon is when we do the labs and everything. There'll need to be a section that allows you to install it, right? I'm hoping rather than it's pre-installed. Here's some lab instances. So I guess. We're 47 minutes in. What have we learned? We've learned that you and I do like our running and we tend to waffle a bit and talk nonsense now related stuff.
Yeah.
We've also learned that although we're excited by Gen AI, we haven't managed to get our hands on and play with it yet. So I don't know. For me, it's getting to the point where it's exciting, but we need to the momentum needs to start coming pretty quickly, right?
I completely agree.
In my book, we've also learned that we feel that ServiceNow should give us a demo instance that we can play with. That'd be really 100%. Nice. Never going to happen.
Yeah, if you're listening, we're here. Talk to the duck at service. Give an instance to the duck at.
But this is useful though. This is useful. It allows us to and hopefully take people on the journey with us as well. But
and do you know what I do somewhat agree the fact that they're kind of packaging this up a bit nicer.
Yes.
In terms of, here's the stuff for creator, here's the stuff for ITSM.
Yes.
And that's much better than trying to do something. Gen AI Controller sounds very techy.
Yes, I so like techy. This. I like this, and I'm with you. I like how they've kind of packaged it up. And I think it is exciting, and people need to. We need to keep hot on that excitement. But ServiceNow need to kind of help us out here and get something that actually works. I believe it's available elsewhere. Well, perhaps North America. I don't know. But I know some people have been playing with it. We're just desperate to get on and give it a go. So, I don't think we need to summarise. There's not a lot to summarise, is there?
No, that summarises it up, really.
So, I think, without further ado, until next time, I've been Russ.
I'll be James.
And this is Service Ducks.